It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a weekly podcast where we talk about everything that's great. Like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate. Oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris.
My name is Mike.
And this week, we have a full Stranger Things Season 5 trailer that Mike didn't watch, but we're still going to talk about it. Because people may historically know I'm not the biggest Stranger Things fan, so I kind of want to talk about, no spoilers, so we'll discuss it a little bit. An Avengers Doomsday teaser is on the horizon, and some other little details we get along the way. Clayface has wrapped production, with plenty of time for post editing. What's it called? Post
Production.
There it is. Yes, I was like, it's not post effects; it's the effects part of the post production. So we can talk about some of that and more this week.
Plenty of time. Does anywhere else on this crazy planet also just run their clocks an hour each way twice a year? Because here in the States, we just fell back an hour. And this is the first time I've experienced a time change with a child that is impacted by it. The first time, she was just a little bitty baby. Second time, it was, you're springing forward. It's a little bit, I just remember it not being an issue. But like now, like she's like a toddler. She has opinions. She has a set concrete schedule. And it's like, oh God, we have to start planning days and days ahead of time. We got to start tweaking the times. And then the thing I hate the most about it is that for like the 2 days like leading up to the time change, you're thinking you're trying to like take every time that you read and subtract like an hour from it, so you can kind of mentally prepare yourself. And then once you transition to the new time, you're mentally adding an hour to everything to be like, oh well, actually this is what the time actually is inside of our bodies right now, and it's insane. I hate it. I have my preference of where I would like to stay, because you can choose.
Not the one today.
Should we stay in time change, or should we stay without it? And at this point, I don't even care. Like, I want to pick one and I want to stick with it. No more turning these clocks around. I hate it.
Well, the thing I say right now, the worst part is, to me, again, Mike, I don't know. We grew up in Indiana. I didn't have to deal with daylight savings time until I graduated high school, like my first year in college. So I don't know if you had that same experience.
Yep,
okay.
Same.
So we're spoiled on not knowing what it is. However, it did suck because I did live next to Louisville, which did observe DST. So I never knew what time it was in Louisville. I'm like, so are they the same time? Are they not the same time?
It was the same, just on the opposite end of the state, because I was on the northern half of the state. So, and we always went to Michigan. We had a lot of family up there. And it was the same thing of just like, what time is it up there? When we go to visit them, are we losing an hour? Are we gaining an hour when we get home? And then also we're a little bit closer to central time of the Chicagoland area. So like, just all of this is nonsense. So like, no more daylight savings time, or stay on daylight.
You want to stay. You want to stay.
It is.
The summer one I think is the best because I don't like it's dark at 5:30. I do not like that it's dark at 5:30 here on the East Coast.
100% agree. That's what I would prefer. But if for some reason, if I need to whip the votes, and the only way I could do it is staying on the time we're on now, I'd be like, fine, I'll deal with it. I'll make it work.
Yeah. I did look it up. Most of North America, except Mexico, and most of Europe, and the majority of where Australia lives celebrate. No one celebrates daylight savings. They observe it. They observe daylight savings time. Every time it brings it up, every time this comes up, everyone's like, "Oh, aren't they going to end that soon? Or haven't they talked about, doing that, full time?" I'm like, someone's tried to do it, but I don't.
It's extra laughable this year because like the government isn't even open, and they can't even fund crucial services, and so I'm sure time changed at the bottom. But actually, the way the government does function, it seems like they would have their priorities totally wrong, and they would pass time change legislation. So,
in 2022, the permanently adopting daylight savings time passed the Senate with unanimous consent, Mike, which is how do you even do that these days? But it expired without consideration by the House of Representatives. So
God damn.
They are trying. So we'll keep our hopes up and see if we can get there one day.
Before this time change absolutely ruined my life, I was able to finish my Simpsons Treehouse of Horror Advent calendar for the month of October. Super fun. I highly recommend it. I've never had an Advent calendar outside of like the Christmas holiday, so that was really fun. They smartly kept most of the references and figures to like core classic Simpsons like Treehouse of Horrors. But there's definitely a couple figures in there. I'm like, I have absolutely no idea what this is. And it's kind of hard to Google a little bit, right? You know, when it's like a digital image, you can kind of like reverse image search. But I'm like, I'm not getting out Google Lens. I'm not getting out the Google Lens app to figure out what this weird kind of like translucent, like gelatinous Homer is and what season it's from. We're just gonna let that slide. But it was pretty fun. Like the characters are pretty high quality for the most part.
Was it mostly Treehouse of Horror characters?
100% Treehouse.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because like I said, I could probably tell you the first 10, maybe 15. After that, absolutely not.
There's a few. I mean, feels we're talking spoilers for an Advent calendar, but if you have it, it's already done. There you get every Simpsons family member as a skeleton, and my big question is this from a specific like couch gag or episode, or is this just a generic idea of like, oh, just the Simpsons as skeletons? Because they've appeared as skeletons like in in like different jokes and stuff, and like daydreams and things like that. So, but it was a fun Advent calendar. My wife picked up a jam of the day calendar at a local store, and she's happy to start that.
That is my speed right there. I mean, I want a flavor. I don't want little
Chris,
tchotchkes.
you missed a great opportunity to say that's your jam.
Well, it is. Well, I could, but it's not. It's not my jam. It's actually her jam, and I can't say that because I don't have this. I did
jellies in there.
Well, yeah, preserves even. This week. My wife got to try apple butter for the first time, which was very exciting.
I'm surprised it took her that long living out there in the Midwest.
She's a very beige food family, very, very much on the beige food flavors. So
also, I should apologize. You guys are kind of straddling the South too, so maybe I don't know if apple butter is a Southern thing or not. Or
well,
it is.
She had it.
I know. What do I know?
She had it, and I was like, well, what do you think? She's like, well, it reminds me of Cracker Barrel. I'm like, that's fair. That's a fair assessment of that. So, no complaints on that. But that was that. But that was a horrible segue because the other thing that happens is some sort of revival in the air of The Simpsons, and I don't know what it is because the show is a show that keeps getting renewed. I think it's got 3 more seasons to get like season 40 coming. Everyone knows it. I don't know a single person who watches it currently, but I know it's on all the time. But they actually are doing a mini event season, a less than 30-day crossover in Fortnite, where the map is all Simpsons themed. The battle pass and all the little gags are Simpsons themed, and I got to play that this morning for the first time because they had like a 5-hour downtime yesterday after the event. And it's one of those things where it's like it's got so many Easter eggs so far. Like I've only played like 4 rounds. I'm like, I need to take like a match where there's no one in here and just explore this because like you've got what's the street they live on? I forget whatever street. There's like a bunch of houses. They actually have modeled the Simpsons house and Ned Flanders' house like to a T based on what's in the show. There's the nuclear factory. You got it's called Cletus's Cornhole, and I don't like saying that out loud here, but it's the tobacco farm from like the earlier seasons. If you remember tobacco, they don't have Duff. The Duff Man is in here, but they have they've changed it to Slurp, which is like the healing juice in Fortnite. for that crossover. Mr. Burns' mansion with his big TV, Krusty the Clown and the Krusty Burger, all
Glad
sorts
you're
of fun
reminding
stuff.
me about this. I need to download Fortnite so I can just explore the neighborhood, because that's exactly what I want to do. I don't want to shoot anybody. It's actually it's very unnerving for me to see some of these characters like wielding weaponry. Like I'm really not trying to be like a pearl clutching person, but I've been seeing some videos of just like the crazy crossover, because I guess when you go into the Simpsons house and you can sit on the couch, and then like the camera angle permanently like affixes to like the couch gag angle. So like there's one where like you can get Homer, you can get Peter from Family Guy, you can get Bob's from Bob's Burgers, and then I saw
Cleveland.
Jake from Adventure Time.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Cleveland versions of it too, where they're all sitting on the couch and it's like, try to explain this to somebody. Even just like 10 years ago.
That one's
but like I saw Jake from Adventure Time running in like holding a shotgun, and I was like, this is very surreal to me right now.
It is weird. Well, like Bart is a character you can get, and he's like got like this mech suit to make like, because they won't give you like a little character, they all have to have the same hitboxes, right? And like he's bigger in the suit, and I'm like, Bart holding guns. It's very interesting how they've just kind of made people kind of forget who you are, like with guns, because like the first time it hit me was when Spider-Man came into the game. Like I'd never have once thought of Spider-Man with a gun in my entire life. And it's not necessarily like, again, like you said, I'm not pearl clutching, oh my god, they can't do that. They did it, but I'm really surprised like Marvel and Disney let them do it. I've got Jack Skellington, The Incredibles with guns, like and stuff like that. It's very funny.
The Jack Skellington one is pretty, and The Incredibles, that's pretty surprising to me, because I would have thought that Disney would have kept more of the family friendly characters like reserved, because I don't know much about the game, but they're supposed to be launching like some sort of like
The
Disney like
yeah.
metaverse world in Fortnite, and I figured that would have been like the family friendly one, and maybe there will be no guns allowed in that one, and then if you age gate the game for your kid, they can't.
It'll be paintball guns or something weird, like water guns or something like that. But either way, this little island with all these little references is super fun. You can go into the power plant where Homer works and see his like his thing. There's the little do it for her thing on the wall. Like they really put a lot of love into this. I've got to ramp a car across the canyon. Whatever, I forget what the name of the canyon is in the show as well. Like that one, I remember all the episodes from like the first 10 seasons, and that's about as far as I got. But it is a fun time, and I'm having a good time. And it's really does this really cool thing when you're familiar with the battle bus on Fortnite, right? Like where the bus comes in and drops you. So it does the cloud with the Simpsons, and then the battle bus flies through the O in the Simpsons, and that's where it's the reveal of the island. And it's just like a fun little reveal. I'm like, oh, that's really fun. I'm sad it's only a month, but what I was hoping to see is, now that these assets are in here, that people take this and make like a hit and run in Fortnite, like the Simpsons hit and run, like rebuild that game.
I saw that there were some like indie developers that were, I think they were modding.
So they did the Futurama.
Yeah. Okay, this is where I'm going to use that. We're going to have a bit of a little live tape here. Hey Siri.
Oh.
Hey Siri. Remind me to download Fortnite in 2 hours.
Huh.
I won't remember. I will forget we had this conversation by the time we're done with this.
It's fine. Well, what I did do is I had the PlayStation app, and I was just hit remote download while you were talking to me on the show, and let it do that in the background. But yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, we'll check it out. But like, I think hit and run. I also joked about like, if someone like they just gave us melee weapons and was able to remake like a 3D version of the Simpsons arcade game, or like lock a camera where you gotta move your characters around like the Simpsons arcade game, because essentially Fortnite has the main version, yes, but it is also like a creation engine now with the Unreal Engine 5 and the creation engine. I think we talked about Halo last week, right? Being Unreal Engine 5, like it is essentially just a creation engine with so much resources, so many things that you can do with that. So I would love to see people take the old Simpsons games that we did grow up with and kind of convert them into this modern stuff, because this one guy did remake Hit and Run from the ground up. He couldn't release it obviously, but it was fun. It's fun to watch that on YouTube. But yeah, so that's been my my day this morning, and then now we'll get on to some news here. My wife, it's currently under the weather, and it's that fall. It's been rainy all week here. It's fall. It's cold. It's Halloween. But she has been watching two different things, Mike. Surprisingly, one is the Avatar movies. Out of nowhere.
I love that.
So
that for her.
So I've been watching parts of what's the Way of Water here and there when I go up and check on her. But she's currently rewatching Stranger Things from Ground Zero. She's currently most of the way through season 2, so she's got season 3 and 4 to go. But season 5 trailer was released by Netflix earlier this week. And Mike, you said you didn't watch it. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
I out of choice, not because I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I would say the one thing is about this, and I don't think it's a spoiler. Vecna says that Will's gonna help him one more time. I actually had forgotten Will was abducted in season 1 into the under or the upside down for like literally that entire season, right? Like he was just making the lights glow in the house with the letters, and that was it. Somehow, and I totally forgot that. And these kids look like little babies. Whenever I saw her watching the first season as well, I'm like, oh Lord. But what was interesting is when this trailer came out, they also released some screenshots, like official screenshots from the upcoming season, and they actually forgot to wipe the metadata from them. So it actually includes the episode number and the time code from that episode.
Oh shit!
On some of these. Now, mind you, I think all the photos are from the first batch. Like they're not even from like the wave 2 and the finale, so that's fun to know that like all this stuff that we've seen is early on in the show, and they're not giving away anything later on. I've never been huge on this. The forced retro vibes of like the first season didn't gel with me at the time 11 years now ago. But I've come around to enjoy the story they're going, because I feel like they have a villain, they have an ending, they've got some stuff lined up here at the end to really send this home, and I'm kind of glad they're able to do it their way. It kind of feels the opposite of the Game of Thrones situation, where like they rushed the ending and they were like, we're just going to try to get this done and out of the way, and we don't care. Where this one feels like they took their time, they know what they're doing, what they want to do, and I feel, to me, Netflix has given them the funds to do what they want along the way with this. So, are you hyped to be watching? I don't know. I don't think you're traveling for Thanksgiving this year, right? You're.
No, I will be able to watch. I believe, since we'll be traveling for the holidays, we'll be back in time to catch Wave 2 and then Wave 3 as well. I didn't watch the trailer out of choice because it's like I'm already committed. Mentioned recently on the show, I'm a big fan of the Upside Down and this series, so I'm like ready to watch it. I don't need to like glean, I don't need to like scan every screenshot for like details. Just ready to experience it.
They include the details in the screenshots for you now. You don't even have to do that apparently.
Of course.
But no, I'm not, like I said, I'm not this isn't like my favorite thing in the world, but I will watch it. No, hopefully I'm hoping a good time, but I'm not. This isn't something like, this isn't a Marvel trailer I've gone through and seen what they've edited out and what they've done in. So excited to see how this turns out whenever it returns here in Thanksgiving. Mike, you're probably going to become a Minions household in the next year or two.
Oh God!
Not by choice, but that's because you have a small child, and those movies are just doing gangbusters. But they had a test screening for the upcoming Minions 3, which is coming out next year, and someone snuck in a recording device and recorded the audio of the entire film and put it online. Which is wild to me that they do that.
It's so funny to me because it's like such a wild move to like get the audio of an unreleased movie, but the least stakes, right?
Yeah.
Like who is out there just hungering for the audio of Minions 3? Like if we were talking like the audio released for like Avengers Doomsday, like huge news. Like people could just go get everything they wanted. They would listen to it. They would like describe the scenes.
Are you watching? Well, are you watching Minions for the plot? I mean, no one's watching Minions for the plot.
Like people will be taking the audio of Doomsday and like feeding it into an image generator and like trying to make the scenes up so they could just like watch the movie before it even comes out. Like it's so funny to imagine just like the Minions audio just floating around out there. Hey, we got a long road trip coming up, honey. Do you want to listen to Minions 3?
Well, to me, it's interesting. Well, no one's downloading this. No one like that selling. But it's interesting to me that number one, I didn't know. I should have assumed the Minions 3 was coming after like the fourth Despicable Me did a lot of money. But like they haven't even given this movie a title yet. Like the rumored titles of Minions and Monsters, but like they haven't given a title. I've seen conflicting release dates of 2026 and 2027. And that someone was able to see that there's got to be a small test screening crew, right, for like to watch the movie this early, like this far ahead of time if it's in 2027. So like, who was this?
Like if I had to guess at all, I would think that since this is a family movie, they're bringing in families and young kids to get, the reaction, are we kind of like getting the right, jokes for the right audience, and maybe it's just harder to, lock things down. If you have a third of the audience as parents and 2/3 as kids, and people got to bring like strollers and bags, and they got to like leave to go change diapers and come back in and everything, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody accidentally recorded it, like, and they're like, oh, I have the audio for this movie, and that's fun.
Yeah. They put it out online, and people were like, oh, they're not people. I don't know who's going through this, to be completely honest. There's got to be something, but what I'm happy, and I'm gonna jinx it here, the happiest thing about AI videos is no one has taken those Minions memes they were doing like 10 years ago that was everywhere and turned those into AI yet, so pretty happy about that. But if you are a Minions diehard, do they have a name for that community, the Minions fans?
Are the Minions in Fortnite?
No.
They put them in Fortnite yet?
No.
You know what they should do, because you were talking about the hitbox. I like the idea of you just stack 2 minions on top of each other, and that's how you get them to like hitbox height.
3 minions in a coat.
Yeah, that would be perfect. That you don't need to change anything.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no minions. Like there's no Gru. Gru would be interesting because he has all those contraptions and like equipment and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, if there are people out there who are Despicable Me fans, Gru fans, Minions fans, whatever, here's your time to go find your audio, listen to it like an audio. Imagine like listening to a really high quality audio book the whole way through. But yeah. Moving on to Call of Duty, the movie that I still couldn't tell you what's going to be, how this actually stands out and is from just a war film, has gotten a writing duo in the pair of Taylor Sheridan and Peter Berg to write the film, and Peter Berg will also direct the movie. And a lot of people are probably familiar with Mr. Sheridan's works. He is known for the Sicario movies, both of them, the Yellowstone show and all its spinoffs, Mayor of Kingstown with Jeremy Renner, Tulsa King, which is Sylvester Stallone, Lioness, which is actually pretty close to Call of Duty, if I was to pick one of these properties, and Landman. So I guarantee... I've seen Sicario. I've not seen anything else, but I could almost pick anyone who's seen one of these properties that he's touched.
Yeah, I mean Taylor Sheridan has been in the papers this week around town because he's been stolen away from Paramount, and now he's got a deal coming up with NBC Universal in the next couple of years, so he's going to be exclusive with them. So I've been hearing the big question now is since he's leaving because he doesn't like the management changes after Skydance bought Paramount, is he just going to kind of like wrap up the few couple things that he's been working on at Paramount, and then just like save all his good ideas that he's got reserved? But it seems like Call of Duty is one of these that are staying with Paramount.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine there's a lot of zeros on the paycheck for this one. He may not like the management there, but I just imagine like, all right, we understand. How about another zero for your troubles on the Call of Duty writing? So he's working on that, and then also Peter Berg he created Friday Night Lights, the movie and the show. He worked on The Rundown, The Losers, the TV show Ballers, and a lot more as well. So this is a team of people who I believe can do good stuff with this. I really like The Losers. Have you ever watched the movie The Losers? It's essentially Zoe Saldana, Chris Evans, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I forget who else is. It's like a team of like they're not black ops. They're not mercenaries, but like they get set up to take the fall. Idris Elba's in it, and like they end up not dying, and they have to come back and figure out who set them up. And it's more of a comedy than anything. I really recommend The Losers. I think it's even based on the comic book. And it's got Chris Evans, so obviously it's a good time. Younger Chris Evans. But yeah, I think I don't know what this movie's going to be about. I don't know how they make it any different than anything else other than not Black Hawk Down, Saving Private Ryan, something, I don't know how they're going to make this just not a war film, and why is it Call of Duty, but they've at least got some, talent behind the production here to make a good movie, hopefully, at the end of the day. Moving on to movies that are probably going to be good at the end of the day. I don't know. Avengers Doomsday, there was high-res artwork of Doctor Doom. We've had this image for a while, right? I think it was from the about a month ago. There was an event, the upfronts or the merchandising events.
Something in Asia, right? Wasn't it like some sort of Chinese media event or something?
Yeah, and I think it was like for the toys or something. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Either way, we've got a very, very high res version of this Doctor Doom photo. Not much is given away. However, people have pointed out he's got these little these aren't pauldrons, are they? Whatever those little things that hold capes on to yourself are. One of them on the left has the Captain Marvel icon symbol, and then the other one has a Thor Mjolnir symbol on it. And people didn't notice that before; they thought they were just kind of generic or indescript. But like, it's kind of opening up this idea of like what world is this Doom from? Has he taken down a Captain Marvel and a Thor at different parts of his journey across the multiverse? What is going on with this? Because those are not the same, and those are very distinct symbols on him.
Yeah, I will play slight devil's advocate.
All right.
First, I will say it is interesting the fact that there is no symmetry with those details on the armor. I feel like if you were making a suit of armor and you have these like fixtures that's holding up a cloak, it seems like the default you would make them identical. So the fact that they're different, I would say, is interesting. There's definitely some attention to detail going there. But as for the shapes, I'm not convinced that is necessarily Mjolnir. I can see the resemblance. I can see the rectangle shape. I can see the hint of a handle, even though I feel like that handle should be a lot thinner. And then we just don't have enough of an angle on the star or the burst or whatever. But I can see it. I will entertain the idea for sure.
That's the only one I feel most confident about being the Captain Marvel. So I have the popcorn bucket with that shape on it. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
That's the one I feel 100% confident on.
There is one thing that is just kind of exciting just in general about this. Chris, this is the first time in a long time that we've been like a year out from an Avengers movie. It's been so long. Like we used to get them on a pretty regular cadence. Well, at least we got 3 of them, all plotted out on a timeline, and we kind of knew the years that they were going to hit. And like, it's been so long since we've seen like a team assemble in a way. So I'm seeing the rumor mill kick back up, right? And whether or not this stuff is real or not, it still pops up into my feed. The interest is peaking, and I'm shocked that we might be getting a trailer in this calendar year.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. I just want to say the one thing I want to say. I actually just uploaded the link with a higher def image of that. I wonder if his shoulder rings are the 10 rings, like the rings on his arms up above his elbow. Mike, do you think he's got some 10 rings going on here?
It's hard to say because there's like 2 types of ring decor going around the chainmail. Like you have this thinner one that looks like it's kind of broken up into different pieces, which just makes me think it's not a ring. It's just maybe just connectors of these different joints of chainmail. But then you have like this slightly larger ring that's kind of like decorative. And then maybe there's another one up by the bicep. I don't know. I feel like when you see 10 rings, especially since we got to see them in Marvel Zombies, even when they were split up between 2 people, like you could see them from like a mile away.
Yeah.
And it's kind of harder to tell here.
Well, the one theory is that this is like an ultimate like Doom in his ultimate form. Like you don't get this one right away. Like this is what he's working towards in the film to like, I don't get maybe all these artifacts and powers. Like the Captain Marvel might be the bangles from Kamala, and the Thor Mjolnir, and then the tin rings.
Yeah.
So,
I like the idea of like this of this character that maybe has just kind of his base power is magic in his universe, and then he uses this to just like ante up and ante up and ante up. It makes me think of I had to Google Zachary Quinto over the weekend because we were watching CSI, and he's in a very early season of CSI.
you're gonna say Heroes?
Like, he runs a scrapyard. So I was like, so I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head, but I knew he was in Heroes. So I went to Heroes, and it reminded me of Silas. And I remember how exciting that first season was because Silas was the bad guy, and his power was he could take other people's powers and collect them, and
is it
very intimidating.
Siler? I think it's an R.
Siler or Silas or
yeah,
they're both menacing.
Because he eats the brain to get the power.
Did he?
Yeah,
the brain?
yeah. He always he had to consume the person to do it. He always made the brain, kind of thing. So, yeah, pretty fun. I like Heroes. Heroes is fun. 20 years ago on that one as well. But as you mentioned, yes, there is a rumor. This is not the first time I've heard it, but this is another time from more solid sources that a teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday will show before Avatar: Fire and Ash, and that this we've got some description that will show lots of Doom. It's not like there's a bunch of clips of the other Avengers and then there's Doom. It's more of a, and I quote, he's scarred, he went full universal monster with the interpretation, and he needs the suit to actually function. And we will get a lot of that from this supposed teaser. Since no one knows Doom, they've got to introduce it to the regular people, not just us. And they've kind of got to sell this. Robert Downey Jr., we know, is in the suit. Will they show him, or will they just show the Doom thing? We don't know yet. So I'm excited that I really, of all the rumors, Mike, I hope this one's true. I really want to see this trailer, this teaser, before the calendar year. And it would make, Avatar: Fire and Ash just that much cooler to have it kind of there at the start of it.
Yeah,
in theaters.
It would be really fun. Looking forward to it. It lends credence that if we think we're going to see a lot of Doom in the trailer, because we've already seen Doom teased in a previous Marvel movie that is to come on Disney Plus soon. We already know the casting announcement. Like, we've seen it at Comic-Con. It was big and splashy. So it's not a secret. So it feels like we can show the character in the trailer. So I'm excited. It's going to be crazy. If I do get to see the trailer for the first time in a theater with a bunch of other nerds, like, ready to watch the next, like, 8-hour Avatar movie, like, that's the energy we need going into it.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw the first Avatar. At the time, we bought our tickets like super late, and I was like in the second row of like a huge IMAX size screen. And that is the worst way to ever watch that movie, by the way. So when they start selling these Fire and Ash tickets, get them and get them good, because you don't want to be sitting up close for these movies for 3 hours. But moving on, another last bit of Doomsday rumor here, that there are previs tests. Someone who has again come out and has been a proven leaker with a very high success rate has said that the previous tests show Namor in battle amid a massive tsunami, and he is probably the one causing it. It'll feature the Atlantean army, or Talocan, I guess, army. There was talk about a big bulky guy whose name is Orca in the comic books. He's like based on the killer whale kind of thing. I don't know if he's fighting him or on his side. I would love to come back and see Namor in battle. After seeing Marvel Zombies and seeing remembering how powerful Namor is and everything, I would love to see him in a Doomsday battle, like taking on. I don't even know what he's going to be fighting, but I'd love to see him return in this.
Yeah, I feel like the last time I saw him, he was battling on the most generic like naval boat I've ever seen. Like, I don't even was it a Wakandan vessel, or I don't remember what it was in the third act of Black Panther 2, but it was like the most boring looking ship. And then eventually he gets kicked over to the shore, and he gets like dehydrated by like a rocket blast or something.
It's
but
just an
when
AC
his
faring vessel. I just looked it up. It was like, yeah, they don't even have a name for it. My assumption is Wakandans don't even have like water ships, but
oh, maybe. I remember because I saw the Lego set for that battle like years ago, and it was like the most depressing looking Lego set because it's just a bunch of like gray flat pieces to make this boring ass boat. But I do remember his assault on Wakanda was really, really cool. And like you could tell he was like he had the upper hand and he was like very powerful. So I'm excited to see him again as well.
yeah, when he flooded Wakanda was really fun. So I imagine probably might be something similar to that. Also, we're going to switch over to Secret Wars, the follow up to Doomsday. The rumor / I guess schedule for Secret Wars to be filming will be between April and September of next year. So it sounds like they're going to be working on this, doing April to September. That gives them a little over a year and some odd change to do effects, reshoots, any secret filmings they want to do in the interim. Sounds pretty on par. I think it's the same amount of time they did for Doomsday. I think it's 5 months, roughly, if you do the math. So, pretty cool. I'm excited to, again, it's exciting to know they're filming Secret Wars before Doomsday's even out. And that means they still have time to work on things if it needs more time after the first one, right? Like they're not like locking themselves into, we're gonna do it after the other one, and figure it out. So pretty excited to see the story. I keep thinking about, remember that the leaked artwork, concept art from several months ago, like trying to figure out how they have the this battle world kind of going on, because we did see when we saw the Fantastic Four were there, Sue and Franklin. The Human Torch, I think, had water poured on him, so he couldn't flame on. Some other stuff, like it'd be cool knowing that we've seen the Fantastic Four now, and Doom might be from that world. That's interesting to me to see why he's got it out for them so bad in that movie. So I don't know. We don't know much about this one. Can't wait to hear more. Hopefully at maybe Comic-Con this year, because they'll be filming in the middle of that. Just a few minutes ago, we were talking about Marvel Zombies, and this Marvel Studios, Marvel Animation, TV, whatever it is rumored to be moving forward with the season 2 after season 1 got garnered enough attention and views. So there's no details known yet, but I assume they're going to pick up from that ending. Yeah, it
would be nice because I didn't like the ending pretty much at all, but everything else was great and really fun, and it was a fun way to explore kind of like this kind of gap in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that, like, it doesn't seem people are super infatuated with. Like, seeing a Captain Marvel fight, what's the guy? I can't even think of his name from the Eternals. Like, he has a
Icarus.
Greek god name. Icarus, that's right. Which is Icarus a Greek god, or is he like a side character? Is he like a little B-level Greek god?
Was he like just a myth because they gave him the wings? He wasn't even like a real god. He just had the wings that flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, but that stuff is fun. And now, like, they could maybe they could explore. I mean, we haven't seen. Have we seen I'm trying to think if there's any character that hasn't like popped up in a Marvel Zombies just yet, because that's what was fun about this first season. We got to see characters we haven't seen yet pop up, like Shang-Chi. But yeah, I guess maybe if we get some out of Doomsday.
Yeah, I mean, I have to go back and look and see who's alive, or like maybe did the Scarlet Witch actually use the powers to undo some of it, like her like. Was her plan really to actually undo some of that stuff, and like who was brought back? But knowing we have the Riri Williams, reach out to Kamala through her dreams or whatever, I'd be interested to see. I don't think we're gonna get any. I mean, Phase 5, like maybe Fantastic Four would be new characters to introduce that we haven't seen yet in here. Maybe we had some of the Thunderbolts, but we didn't get Bob. But this would have happened before Bob got his powers, so maybe not.
Yeah. Actually, now I feel like I'm kind of talking myself out of it. I feel like we are out of characters to explore. But if I wanted to do one more season, maybe one more season.
Well, I think they
we'd have
I think they got to end it like for good. Like,
Yeah. Well, they haven't brought in any of the Guardians, right? Any of the Guardians of the Galaxy because they're outside of Earth, right? I don't
Yeah.
think like we
No,
saw any of them in the first season.
not that I know of. Just when Thanos arrived, with the Infinity Gauntlet. So we don't. I mean, I guess they didn't show the Soul Stone. Is the Soul Stone wasn't part of that, or was it part of that? So Gamora might have been dead, but that would have been it. Yeah, Guardians would be interesting. Who else we got? Anybody else alive? We're running out of characters, but I think another season to wrap it up, because I don't think we need to just keep finding more pockets of resistance along the way. I think that's kind of irrelevant. But if they can make it a way to where it's kind of like, to me, this reality that Kamala's in is very much like a WandaVision, like Westview, right? Like, is she going to get remnants of the outside world? Like, she's got this happy world, but like maybe that's how they reintroduce some of the characters. They're like, they're in this fake world, but they're not really alive on the outside. They're just creations of Wanda. With that, Agatha would be interesting. So, yeah, we didn't see Agatha, a witch an alive witch, or a coven of witches who has to stop the undead witch from ruining everything. Would be interesting, I think. But either way, I hope they do it. I mean, I don't need this show to go on forever. It just needs one good season to wrap it up and not leave us on another cliffhanger along the way. Over on the DC world, Batman, the Batman Part 2 has officially hired Luke Hull, who is known for his work on Andor and Chernobyl, will serve as a production designer for the upcoming sequel.
It's not bad. That's not bad news to hear.
No. Normally we wouldn't talk about this, but when I think of Andor and Star Wars, we talked about Star Wars television last week. There's a rumor that Rogue Squadron is not a movie anymore. It'll be a TV series. But when I think of Star Wars TV, Andor was like the exception of like things that they were able to pull off really, really well. But we always talked about how real like the sets looked, how like lived in Andor felt compared to like the volume versions of all this other stuff. So to hire this guy, and then I've not watched Chernobyl, but I've only heard good things. I've seen enough clips on like YouTube Shorts. I probably have seen the whole show at this point, but this is awesome, and I didn't put it in here because I don't know if it's true or not, but Colin Farrell said that this movie will take place like 2 weeks or so, just a few weeks after the Penguin TV show. So I'd be interested to see if this guy updates Gotham in any way, shape, or form from the original production designer.
Interest. I might have to. I don't know if I'm going to get around to watching Penguin, but I would watch a recap. I'd watch a recap on the man of recaps. I trust that guy.
How many episodes? There are 8 episodes. Good Lord. Like, I probably would have watched it at 6, if I'm going to be honest. 8 seems a little rough. But that's why, I mean, like, it's an award-winning show. Like, that's the hard part. I'm like, I have no reason not to watch this other than it's just long. It's long episodes, 8 episodes, and I really should revisit the Batman. Have you? Did I ask you this the other day? Like, have we revisited the Batman since it came out?
I have not.
Yeah, me neither. With that, very interesting. But anyway, so Batman Part 2 coming out, I think 2027, starting production next year. We'll kind of see where they go with that. We're speeding through the news today. I actually might add something on here, but we'll talk about this first. Clayface, the lead actor for Clayface, Tom Harris, has announced at the end of the filming with a teaser image for this movie, and it's like one of these, like, it is the like, I guess
like a dressing room,
but like with like a bunch of like, I don't know, hints or clues or something, like things we're supposed to read into. Like on the bottom, go where the chalk white is the line from where the sidewalk ends. It's supposed to go where the chalk white arrows go at the bottom down there. There's a little smile and sunglasses in the window, or not window, the mirror reflection. Looks like some guy's molding his face into a bag, a square. It's in, and then there's like and then like a red balloon in the upper left there. But like, I can't pull anything out of this for Clayface. Can you? I mean, just at first glance.
I thought the flash was on, and then I realized that there's this like light bar going down the middle. This just annoys me. That's all it does. Just like I don't understand what's going on here.
I don't need,
whatever.
Nobody knows what this movie is, and that's the thing. So, the Hollywood Reporter has given another updated synopsis. I don't know if this is real, they're guessing or whatever, but it says Clayface is a Hollywood horror story using the most popular incarnation of the villain, a B-movie actor who injects himself with a substance to keep himself relevant, only to find out he can reshape his face and form, becoming a walking piece of clay. This really sounds like The Substance. The more I read about it, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's a little bit of a body horror movie, and Clayface has kind of always had this thing for him. But it's just one of these films. It's like, we talked about this. Next year are the first 2 movies that James Gunn really didn't have his hands in. So I'm interested to see how Supergirl goes, and then how does Clayface go? Because this one seems more like a test, or like a what's it? Not the word. What test is a wrong word. What is it? Like an experimental kind of movie to add to their repertoire. Like, can we do low cost, low budget, B-list movie characters? Like, can we turn another Peacemaker? Really, is what it feels like, right? Like Clayface is a low. Not low value, but like, what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, if we mess it up, no one's gonna really like lose sleep over it, I guess, at the end of the day. With that, but this movie comes out September of next year, so they literally have 11 months to work on this. So I think, to me, Mike, there's gonna probably be some VFX heavy stuff to get this off the ground for a Clayman. What do you think?
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they could find a unique approach to like the transformation, right? I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous the way it looks like in Batman the Animated Series. So I wonder if they've done like some experimental VFX test shots of like, how do we want this to look? Is it going to be like clay? Is it going to be like smooth transition? Is it going to be like a quick morph? Curious to see what they do. I always think of that last shot from the episode where they're surrounded by all those TVs, and then he's just like frantically like changing between the different characters. It will be curious too, because the Clayface in the cartoons, and I wonder if maybe this is a similar in the comic books as well. It's not just changing the physical body, it's like the whole costume and everything. So it's not just like the skin underneath the clothes. It's like Clayface can make a hat, to sit on the head. It's all clay. Everything you're looking at is clay. So it makes me wonder if they'll do that in this universe. I mean, James Gunn's like superhero universe seems a little bit more fantastical, so I can imagine Clayface making a hat. So that's what I'm looking out for. Does Clayface have a clay hat, or does he have to go to the hat store like everybody else?
Well, so my guess, my question would be, it's like, if he made a hat out of clay per se, right? Is that hat heavier than a regular hat because it's clay? But does he leave it behind and stuff like that?
Is that evidence? Can you touch Clayface, and does it feel like clay? We have a question. We have clay-based question.
Because like would be the thing. Like, it's like Sandman, right? Like, he could always like leave sand behind, but like he wasn't like losing bits of himself. So if he like again makes a coat and he takes the coat off, clay is very non-malleable. Like, once it's like in that form, so like I'd be interested to see if it's not gonna be. We're way overthinking it. They're gonna make it look like regular clothing when he does it.
I think these are interesting questions, because when you bring the character to live action, which, I mean, this is kind of like the infamous reason, or maybe not the reason, but we have only ever seen like the same Batman villains live action over and over and over again. Every time the character gets recycled by a new director, new studio initiative in the next like decade or whatever. Like, this is the first time we get to see Clayface, so they kind of have to answer these questions. And I wonder too if Clayface was in that Gotham TV show, and maybe they kind of approached this in their own way. I'd be curious to find out.
Maybe. Yeah, it looks like it, but he looks like he's just rubbery, like kind of stretchy, rather than actual.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's Basil Carlo, an original. It's like the original, not the same version that we're seeing here. He was in three. He was in 3 episodes. Thank God there are fandom websites where people put this stuff in there. Yeah, but like yeah, Clayface is interesting. Like also the hardest part of this is in Creature Commandos they've already introduced the Clayface, and he's a big bulking monster who literally leaves clay everywhere, if you will. So it's to me it's interesting that it's like they're going like the other way, where like this man injects himself, and will there be any connection to the Creature Commandos Clayface? Is that where this serum's created from? And how do they do that kind of along the way? Because I'm interested. Like he says it's all connected, and it needs to be all the time. Will they be able to pull that off along the way? Any thoughts on Clayface?
Man, just going to Clayface on Google Images, like he's such a striking character. Like we said, this is Chris and I have not delved into the DC universe as much in our existence. So like even just a character like Clayface, like I'm excited just to see them. There's like a new collectible figure out that I saw somebody showcasing on social media earlier this week. It's like so sick. It's the Clayface from the animated universe, and you could swap out like all of his like body parts and stuff. And he has like a head that has like a batarang like being shot through it. And then I guess there's a separate Batman that you can buy to add to the scene. So it's like a grappling hook that like you're shooting through Clayface's head. Just so cool.
Well, and I'll tell you what, because my experience is with Clayface is from the Batman the Animated Series, right? Like that's the one we all know in the scene where he's like the big clay monster. He's got the yellow eyes and the crooked teeth, and that is Matt Hagen, who is the version that we're seeing in this movie. So that's interesting for that. And I don't know. That one's the one I remember. I'd love to. I'd probably want to go back and rewatch some of that because that's pretty. That's yeah. It'd be fun to kind of rewatch that and that I guess version, the animated series. Who's the artist? Is that Paul Dini designed that? Is that who? Like the artwork of the animated series.
Oh, I'm trying to think of his. Why can't I think of his name? Bruce Timm. That's what it is.
Bruce Timm. Yeah, Paul Dini was like the producer, right? With everything.
I'm gonna share a picture with Chris that maybe he will find a way to put in the show notes. When I was looking at Clayface, it is
no. Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit. Characters iconically known as Clay turned into Batman and Clayface. It's actually really cool. If this was like a little like diorama figure that you could own, it's like a 3D render. Somebody could print this.
It's very like iconic. Like this is a very Wallace and Gromit as well because number one, they got the big goofy smiles and like the very round eyes, but Batman is using a hairdryer to shoot the grappling hook, and it's the blow dryer is plugged into his belt through an electrical socket. So I absolutely love that little detail on that. I can see how we can get that in there. What I didn't know was in the animated series, Clayface was voiced by Ron Perlman. That's your fun little fact. Right? Hellboy and Clayface, same character. Last bit of news here. This is I just want to put this in here because I saw this online. I guess not sentiment, but something changed this week. Whenever we started talking about the Star Wars, the Hunt for Ben Solo last week, and how people are like, oh, we want this. And they come to find out that Bob Iger was the guy who, turned down the films. The sentiment towards Kathleen Kennedy, who online critics have vehemently, disliked, called for her firings for the past 10 years or so, has changed to where everyone is like I just linked it here, a Kathleen Kennedy apology video from someone who was like the most vocal, like I guess negative person, one of the most negative people towards her in a very long time, because all the news reports, it's news. All these reports are coming out that essentially like when Star Wars was purchased by Disney, Kathleen Kennedy wanted to keep the Clone Wars going. She wanted to do this other stuff, and like Bob Iger's the one who like kept turning it down. So this is one of those situations where it's just funny to see, or not funny. It's interesting to see the internet discourse shift perspectives when like pieces of information come out a little bit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't think about Kathleen Kennedy all that often. I just try to like imagine the world of Star Wars and what I would like to see. So I guess when people get mad, and we always say nobody hates Star Wars more than a Star Wars fan, you gotta like put the blame on somebody. But I don't know who would be in charge over at Star Wars, but I still would not let anyone over there off the hook for the fact that nobody could plan ahead just for that new trilogy. I think that's what bugs me the most. Like, I'm not so upset that they took swings at different ideas and maybe they didn't work. Like, hey, let's try like these different Star Wars stories. It wouldn't be interesting if we saw the origins of Han Solo. You know, I don't think those are necessarily bad swings to take, but it's just like, how could nobody spend all of this money on Star Wars and not try to get like a loose structure for like, how do we want this new trilogy to go? So I like to put that blame just vaguely at whoever is over at Star Wars, but I guess fortunately some people feel like they need to put a name on it, and it does end up leaning towards Kathleen Kennedy. But you watched this video. I didn't get a chance to see it. Is there any sort of like new revelations? What's the bit to pull out of this?
Well, it's essentially that Bob Iger hates Star Wars is what it has come down. Like and it's really like, if you go back and look, like he doesn't mention it at all, like ever in anything he's ever done. He is the I guess the overall person who has nixed anything. So I would say I would be interested. There's no information on here, but like you mentioned, the planning, like maybe they had a plan and he was like, nah, don't do that kind of thing, because obviously that's what this comes down to, is like, you know, that Kathleen Kennedy wasn't the one calling the shots and we should hate her. It's that, hey, they still had to roll up into Disney proper, right, at the top of the list, and they're the ones who, you know, can do things like the Obi-Wan movie was changed to a TV show because Bob Iger didn't want to do a movie with that. You know, or they presented it and he said no, he changed it. Mandalorian season 4 became a movie because I don't think that one's a bad choice necessarily, but there are just a lot of people who are like, oh, when you can't you know, when you're, I guess, reporting upwards, and they're the ones with the final say. But because she's always the voice and the face of Star Wars, that she has essentially not necessarily, I use the word tanked. She's essentially tanked all the negativity for the past 10 years. I'm not saying anyone's perfect. I'm not saying, no, she's great and should be off the hook, but it's more of a, I guess, maybe an insight into the politics of corporate, you know, green lights, approvals, funding, all this other fun stuff that we don't get to see. Because I would, you know, maybe one day, probably when she retires, I bet we're gonna get like a Kathleen Kennedy book, like my time at Star Wars kind of thing, maybe, that like airs a lot of this stuff out.
I'd have to check this video out because I'm curious kind of where this assumption that Iger doesn't like Star Wars because he's the one that bought it, you know. Like you are, you know, you put all of this. I mean, his legacy at Disney is his acquisition and all of the things that he was able to bring into the company. So I doubt somebody buys it without liking it. And also, he's kind of known for being like the creative CEO in a way. Like he likes story. You know, when he was stepping away as CEO, you know, and the whole transition was kind of like botched according to experts, he was kind of staying on as a capacity of like, just as like, oh, I'm just going to oversee like the creative like feature side of thing, you know, like I'll kind of be like the wise wizard on the hill that you come talk to about it. So I wonder like if I feel like there's always maybe like a hair bit of truth to every like rumor or report. So I wonder exactly what that is, because it seems silly to spend billions on something that you don't really like or you're not interested in.
He essentially overruled and redirected Lucasfilm projects often against Kennedy's wishes, and his interference goes back all the way to the Clone Wars. So he's essentially, you may be right, he's a creative, but a creative in the wrong direction with that. And, there's a number of vetoes by the Disney CEO that have only been particularly sore subjects, but were blamed on Kennedy because of his vetoing is kind of what it goes. There's a lot more. That article, I mean, the video is part of it, but there is a, I'm trying to find I think it's a Variety, Associated Press. No, not Associated Press. That was Associated Press was Adam Driver. This whole thing has come out when Adam Driver was like, I guess, revealed.
Yeah, I was going to say this
kind
of. It seems related to that Ben Solo thing too. I guess too, this is like one of those things where it's just like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Like all of the projects that you've canceled that probably wouldn't have been good, like in my opinion, the Ben Solo project, you don't really get credit for the stuff that never gets made that would have been bad, right? You only ever get dogged on, the stuff that came out and like wasn't any good. So, this is just like kind of like this is what makes Hollywood just interesting in general, right? It's such high stakes for something as objectively silly as something that you watch in a movie theater on a screen, right? The end product is just like this kind of like, it's like a fun little story that you watch to pass the time, but like it employs like so many people. There's so much activity behind it. There's like so much money. It's just like, it's farcical, if you pull out far enough and you look at it like an alien. But if you're a human being on this planet, it's so much different. I don't know. That's what makes this whole industry so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd be interested to see. Like I said, I want to see when things like this gain momentum. I'm interested to see what is next. We do know what Bob Iger, he's allegedly retiring for good or being told to pick a successor along the way. Is that right? So like when is that?
It's next year.
Okay. Yeah, we'll what will happen and what will come out of that kind of along the way. So I'm just interested. This is just, like I said, it's just interesting to see. You don't normally see people who do rage-induced things on the internet, like the Den of Nerds channel from Josh, who who was once like literally go find videos of him calling for her firing, like reconsidering years of this criticism because of the information that comes out. That's just the part to me you don't see on the internet these days. So I'm curious what else this person has. Josh, I don't know if there's other things that'll come out of it along the way. Either way, Star Wars is an interesting spot because it has nothing. There's like no Star Wars on the table other than like the Mandalorian and it's not Starfighter. Is it Starfighter? Yeah, Starfighter.
Yeah.
In the next couple of years. I'm interested to see. I don't think it'll have any blowback with those. If anything, it might bolster some of the stuff. But like, it's interesting that there's no proper Star Wars. Like these seem like little spin-off projects along the way. And if Bob Iger is in fact someone who has injected himself into these decisions, will that change after he essentially exits with the new person and kind of give it back to if so that'll be the kind of the telling part, right? If we see some changes. Anyway, that's been the show. Sorry, I just had to throw it on there real fast because it's just so wild to see people change, like I said, in opinions like that on the internet. So if people want to know about the show, what we're doing, where you're up to, Mike, where can they follow you at?
Yeah, they can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com and liferewardsrisk.com. Chris, if people want to catch up with you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Valdan87, VALDAN, or video game to the same name. People want to know about the show, what we're doing, where we come back every week. Where can they get them goodies at?
Oh, just head on over to superheroslate.com. Best place to find all the avenues we host our show. Get our awesome show notes. Find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Get merch at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. Reach out. Let us know what you're excited for this coming year. Because it's
already November. Good Lord.
We're about to wrap up 2025, and we got a whole slate coming up next year.
You know what?
Let us know what you're looking for.
You know what I saw earlier that it just hasn't been the same this year? Popcorn buckets. Like I don't feel like we can do a review of them this year because I don't feel like anyone tried. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, they're also shrinking too. I feel like they're getting less high quality. They're probably all caught up in tariffs.
Yeah.
We're probably having like whole franchises of movie buckets, just like, we don't want to pay that. So they're just like putting them into like a chipper or something.
The Herbie one is still my favorite one this year, but sorry, I digress.
No, that one was great. And if you're a super fan, let us know where towards the end of the show did you hear me mute my microphone and forget to turn it back on? Because I think I did that during the Clayface segment. So you might hear some awkward silences in there.
No,
so
I kept talking.
My microphone.
I
looked down at my
kept talking.
microphone and I was just like, oh, it's red. When did that happen? I must have coughed and forgot to turn it back on.
Yeah.
So, but we know our super fans will love and return to us every week, even if Mike does something stupid like that with his microphone. Mike with his mic. So we love our super fans. If you want to be a super fan, all you have to do is share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, folks.
That's right. And we will see you guys